Okay, I'm back, y'all, and Divinely Grateful Risings. How are y'all doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to the message. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're feeling good. You know what to do, ski booski. Like the live, share the love, drop something in the chat that you're grateful for. Let's get in the flow of abundance. And make sure you turn your notifications on so you're notified anytime I go live or post a video, and subscribe so these messages can get out to as many people as possible. Kizzle. Ola do it. Y'all, we are in the book of Isaiah. We are in the book of Isaiah. Y'all gonna use them again. Yeah, we gonna use the clarity is real, baby. That last little message, y'all had meant that in y'all spirituals, didn't it? Y'all, somebody's spirit names is not playing with you about shining. So we gonna see what the message is for this message. But y'all make sure y'all go watch that last one, child, because y'all meant that. They have meant that. Okay, they meant what they said. Isaiah 30 and 31. I'm taking back 31 and 32. My bad. Isaiah 31 and 32. That's where we're at today for Bible clarity. Well, let's do it. Let's get to it. Y'all know we're in the One Step Closer Bible. Shout out to my niece Booski Wooski, who y'all seen that it was rigged up. But you know what? If you know, you know. Look, I had to tie it because baby, it was it was doing what it wanted to do. Hold on, because what we not going to be is hot. Here we go. Isaiah 31 and 32, y'all. And then this is short, so then we'll hop into the message. Here we go. The futility of relying on Egypt. Before I get started with this, I'm just going ahead and tell this little story before we even read what this is in Isaiah 31. Once upon a time, I can remember trying to do it myself instead of letting the Lord do it for me. And I remember, and it's at some part of up here, I don't know, somewhere up here in this first part of the Bible, because y'all know we about, look, almost halfway. I can remember when the Lord had to put a little check me in my spirituals about Egypt and what Egypt was. Egypt was the world. Egypt was returning to the world and trying to figure it out myself. Egypt was for me trying to get a job. And I don't know what all this is going to talk about. I've read it, but it's been a long time. I don't know. But can I just encourage somebody to let go and let God? And it's somebody, whoever this part of the message is for, someone God has given you an instruction. But when you're in your wilderness season, because y'all know I be focused in on helping people to get through their wilderness season. Hello, Israelite in the wilderness. And so that's one of my assignments. Egypt was me trying to go back to the world instead of just trusting in God. Does that make sense? Like me trying to go back and get a job after God told me I am your source and your resource. Drop it in the chat. God is my source and my resource. So I hope that made sense. Come on, 3:33 on the timer. Call to me and I will show you great and unsearchable things that you do not know. It's like that. It's for some of you, this may be you relying on the world, you relying on your job. I'm not saying that having a job is bad, but I feel like this is speaking to somebody who God has already told you. There are many of us that the Lord will send you into your wilderness season and he will make you depend on him. And we're gonna talk about this more in the community, because if I have a new podcast, y'all, called From the Car to the Kingdom. And in the From the Car to the Kingdom, I'm not reading cards, I'm literally just giving the stories and witnessing and testifying about the wilderness journey and the wilderness experience that I've been going through and still in, as a matter of fact. And so but one of the things that God he really made me understand was I kept trying to go and rely on Egypt, which was oppression, which was the thing that was oppressing me, the world. I kept trying to go back, and it's like if the Lord removes you out of the world and gives you freedom, it's like going back into slavery. Does that make sense? And so let's read this and see what it's about. That may be what the message is about today. Like the Lord, if he frees you and he pulls you out of something, he wants you to stay free. And so sometimes we don't always do that. We try to go back Yeah, like trying to go back into something that God has already freed you from. Does that make sense? Here we go. The futility of relying on Egypt. What sorrow awaits those who look to Egypt for help, trusting their horses, chariots, and charioteers, and depending on the strength of human armies. I'm telling you, instead of looking to the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, drop this in the chat. I'm going to look to God. In his wisdom, the Lord will send great disaster. He will not change his mind. He will rise against the wicked and against their helpers. For these Egyptians are mere humans, not God. Their horses are puny flesh, not mighty spirits. When the Lord raises his fist against them, when the Lord raises his fist against them, those who help will stumble, and those being helped will fall. They will all fall down and die together. But this is what the Lord has told me. When a strong young lion stands growling over a sheep it has killed, it is not frightened by the shouts and noise of a whole crowd of shepherds. In the same way, the Lord of heaven's armies will come down and fight on Mount Zion. The Lord of heaven's armies will hover over Jerusalem and protect it like a bird protecting its nest. He will defend and save the city. He will pass over it and rescue it. Though you are such wicked rebels, my people, come and return to the Lord. I know the glorious day will come when each of you will throw away the gold idols and silver images your sinful hands have made. The Assyrians will be destroyed, but not by the swords of men. The sword of God will strike them, and they will panic and flee. The strong young Assyrians will be taken away as captives. Even the strongest will quake with terror, and princes will flee when they see your battle flags, says the Lord, whose fire burns in Zion, whose flame blazes from Jerusalem. Israel's ultimate deliverance. Look, a righteous king is coming, and honest princes will rule under him. Each one will be like a shelter from the wind and a refuge from the storm, like streams of water in the desert and the shadow of a great rock in a parched land. Not islands in the stream. That is what we are. No one in between. Okay, I'm back. Then everyone who has eyes will be able to see the truth, and everyone who has ears will be able to hear it. Even the hotheads will be full of sense and understanding. Those who stammer will speak out plainly. In that day, ungodly fools will not be heroes. Scoundrels will not be respected. For fools speak foolishness and make evil plans. They practice ungodliness and spread false teachings about the Lord. They deprive the hungry of food and give no water to the thirsty. The smooth tricks of scoundrels are evil. They plot crooked schemes. They lie down to convict the poor, even when the cause of the poor is just. But generous people plan to do what is generous, and they stand firm in their generosity. Listen, you women who lie around in ease. Listen to me, you who are so smug. In a short time, just a little more than a year, you careless ones will suddenly begin to care. For your fruit crops will fail, and the harvest will never take place. Tremble, you women of ease. Throw off your complacency. Strip off your pretty clothes and put on burlap to show your grief. Beat your breasts in sorrow for your bountiful farms and your fruitful grapevines. For your land will be overthrown and briars. Well, wait, for your land will be overgrown with thorns and briars. Your joyful homes and happy towns will be gone. The palace and the city will be deserted, and busy towns will be empty. Wild donkeys will frolic and flocks will graze in the empty forts and watchtowers until at last the Spirit is poured out on us from heaven. Then the wilderness will become a fertile field, and the fertile field will yield bountiful crops. Justice will rule in the wilderness and righteousness in the fertile field. And this righteousness will bring peace. Yes, it will bring quietness and confidence forever. My people will live in safety, quietly at home. They will be at rest. Even if the forest should be destroyed and the city torn down, the Lord will greatly bless his people. Wherever they plant seed, bountiful crops will spring up. Come on, bountiful. Their cattle and donkeys will graze freely. The end. Okay, the end. So just saying, I have learned, and I had to learn this the hard way, y'all. This is just a true story. Give God the glory. I had to learn the hard way to allow God to take care of me. My answer had always been to, which I mean combine them. That's two different things. My answer had been to try to, especially for this is for somebody, because maybe you're new on your wilderness journey, and it's like the difficult task versus the difficult path versus the hard path. I mean, versus the easy path. Somebody, maybe the Lord has told you to build a business, because this is the best. Come on, rain on me, Deuteronomy 28:12. I'm going to take it because it flipped over. Maybe the Lord, come on, the Lord will send rain at the proper time from his rich treasury in the heavens, and will bless all the work you do. You will lend to many nations, but you will never need to borrow from them. We finna go split screen, y'all, but we finna do this community and stuff first. I had just started shuffling, but look, and the entrepreneurs up under that. I'm telling y'all. So let me get this particular part of the message out, and then we finna do the community real quick. So for whoever this is for, like the Lord could have, it's not easy to build a business, right? It's not easy to, like the Lord could have told you to quit your job and just let him show you a path and help you to walk and navigate a path. And when times get really, really tough, and I'm guilty of this, so this is no judgment. When times get really, really tough, it is easy to want to just turn around and go back the way you came. I'm guilty of it. And every time, but I will tell you this, you can force your way back into slavery if you want to, and God will let you go. Like he'll let you go back into God, into slavery if you want to. But this is for someone like the Lord is, this isn't it. I don't know. Maybe this is what this message is gonna be about. Understand that come on, spirit, the rain is going to come at the proper time. I'm putting it up to that one because I'm getting ready to do split screen. The rain is going, not the lion and the lioness. Didn't we just read that? The lion and the lioness is somewhere in the scripture. Now I got to go find it. I could have sworn we just read that. And then the lion, that's the archangel Eric. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute, y'all. Now we just read, am I tripping, y'all? Okay. This is, I'm coming back to this. I'm trying to get it out. But let me just tell y'all something. I can't make this up. I didn't know this until today. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought because this just kind of tripped me out, because we just read, this is Isaiah 31 and 32. Somebody look, Isaiah 29, which is the first message we did today. You can go, I don't know what it's called yet. You have to go back and watch it. It starts off, what sorrow awaits Ariel, the city of David? Year after year, you celebrate your feast. I've never known, because this is Archangel Ariel that's coming up. So that just kind of took me back for a second. Okay. Didn't we just read about the lion and the lioness? That's where I was going with this, y'all. 31 and 32. Or was that in the last message? I don't even know where. Oh, here it is right here. In Isaiah 30, it says, the caravan, this message came to me concerning the animals in the Negev. The caravan moved slowly across the terrible desert to Egypt. Donkeys weighed down with riches, and camels loaded with treasure, all to pay for Egypt's protection. For what I just heard, y'all, is like, you gonna have to, like, what are you paying? What are the wages that you're paying Egypt for somebody that, if you're trying to go backward from something to something that the Lord has already released you from, you pay with your time. You give, like, let's say the Lord told you not to work, and I'm not telling nobody to quit their job by any means. Please take this to God. But let's say that the Lord told you to create a business, and again, I'm sharing this because I went through this experience where the Lord told me to be a full-time entrepreneur, but it's hard. And maybe when you first start out, you're not receiving the blessings that you thought you were going to receive. And so the first thing you want to do is go back to Egypt and say, man, this too hard. This ain't worth it. I can't do this. I thought it was going to be different. And so I hope that this would encourage somebody that the rain is going to come. The blessings are going to come. The abundance is going to come. But I want somebody to understand understand that God is he will test you. So whoever this message is for, he may be testing you to make sure that you're going to stick to the vision that he gave, that you're going to stick to it. Because if you go back, he'll call you again. It's up to you whether or not you decide to answer that call. I feel like in this particular part of the message, God is saying, hey, this is how you travel this road is going to be up to you, because you can go back, but you're going to be miserable because you've already been called. Like, he's called you in to step into something. So you can go back if you want to, because that's the easy way out. He never told you that building this business message, he never told you that building this business, he never told you that following him was going to be easy. And many people, that's why people don't walk the narrow road. That's why, and we just said somewhere about the narrow road over here. It's why people don't often choose it, because we want instant gratification. We want things to happen. We want to start a business today and see the success tomorrow, but that's not the way it works. So for somebody, whoever this particular part of the message is for, this says they travel through the wilderness, a place of lionesses and lions, a place where vipers and poisonous snakes live. All this, and Egypt will give you nothing in return. So I hope that made sense. It's kind of, I'm trying to put it together the way that the Spirit is giving it to me, but it's like, you're going back to the same, you're going back to oppression, you're going back to people, like dealing with difficult people, you're going back to slavery versus being free. And one thing I can say, it has not by any stretch of the imagination been the ideal walk for me as I've been building and creating and growing in the Lord. And no, I did not know what the path was going to require of me when I decided to follow God. But I am so grateful that I did, because there are things that, even if there are people who would say, man, I wouldn't trade places with her. I don't want you to trade places with me. I don't want anybody to have to walk my walk, because it hasn't been easy. But has it been worth it? Absolutely. Because everything that God has blessed me with by just continuing to be diligent and following him, it belongs to me. And one of the main things that he's giving me that I didn't have in Egypt, oppression, slavery, was freedom. And so I hope that made sense. It wasn't, I don't know how that's going to completely figure into the message today, but for somebody, it feels like the Lord is trying to give you hey, before you go back into slavery, before you go back to Egypt, just know that you're going right back into the same thing you prayed to come back out of. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm back. That was kind of, so that kind of tripped me out. And for someone specifically, yes, this is like business. I keep doing that because I hadn't split screen yet. Let me give y'all this community, and then we finna go ahead and hop into the message. I can be giving y'all this community as I am getting this, because it feels like this message can't wait. I don't know if somebody is thinking about giving up on something that the Lord has instructed you to do, but he's like, don't give up yet. Yeah, it's hard, and yeah, it's a little difficult, it's challenging, and it may not be going the way you thought it was going to go. But that doesn't mean stop dreaming about it. And this is, again, someone specifically business purposes. When I grow up, because the entrepreneur card is here, career goals, entrepreneur, Fortune 500 company, leaving a legacy. And I promise you that if you just keep putting the work in, man, I think celebrity spotlight, I want to say, who was it? What is her name? I don't even know her name, and I don't want to call the wrong person, but I saw someone, and she was literally saying that she kept on sending her music. She's a singer, and she kept on sending her music, just kept on. And every time she would send it to someone, they would be like, it may be SZA. Now, I don't know right offhand much of her music, so I can't, but I saw it, and I hope I'm not misquoting her, but I saw it, and she was like, she has sent her music to so many people, and all they kept saying was they either didn't like the music or they didn't like her. Like, yeah, we don't like her. And she didn't care. She didn't stop giving up. And so it was like, but eventually, and a lot of times I've heard different musicians talk about this, where y'all, we feel like it's overnight, because all of a sudden, it's like one minute you know someone, but you didn't know them before, so it seems like it's overnight. But most successful people will tell you that they were putting in work for years. Thank you, Lord, I received this, because this is something that God has been talking to me about over the past, I would say, over the past few days. Because, well, and I guess this is why he was talking to me about it, so I could talk about it on this message, right? It's like people putting in years worth of work to develop their craft, people putting in years worth of discipline, people putting in years worth of time before they finally start seeing the results. But they never stop. They never stop. They keep on putting in the work. They keep on showing up. They keep on being disciplined. And the rain is going to come. The rain is going to come at the proper time. The Lord will send rain at the proper time from his rich treasury in the heavens. It will bless all the work that you do. You just got to keep going, showing up. And the best example I can give of this is community, right? Y'all go to my website and pick up my new oracle deck. It's called Keys of the Kingdom. Keys of the Kingdom. And it's focused on the New Testament. It's all the wisdom and the parables. It's everything that Jesus was teaching in the New Testament. And so this is my fourth oracle deck that is biblically based. Okay. I have 13 oracle decks total, but only 4 of them are actually based on the Bible. This morning's message, a word in the wilderness, preparation for the promise, and keys of the kingdom. Come on, God. And it's been a progression as God has taken me through different stages of development and learning. I've made a deck. So when I first, like this morning's message, which was my first oracle deck that was biblically based. Y'all, that's a lot to be trying to say. Based on the Bible. Why I couldn't just say, child, you don't get fancy with me. That was a tongue twister. Anyway, I was just saying, based on the Bible. Anyway, I'm back. So the first one, this morning's message, I actually started creating that deck in 2023. Okay. Or that was when I actually released that deck, was in 2023. And it was the first deck, and I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, you want me to put scripture on tarot cards? But then the next day, of course I did. The next deck, which was a word in the wilderness, was scriptures that were helping me to get through my wilderness season. Y'all, affirmations are also in that deck as well. So it was a lot of me, come on 222, it was a lot of me having to just continue to encourage myself. But at that time, I'm going through the wilderness. Then preparation for the promise. It's like, okay, I'm getting ready. Lord is stepping me into my promise. But had I given up, it's like, had I given up or just not been consistent, it's like, how can the Lord bless you if you're not doing what he's asking you to do? And it's like him wanting you to understand the necessities of going through all of those cycles, there are going to be times when you feel like you don't even know why you're doing something. Why am I building this business? Like, it's not making the money. And this is the thing. One thing that I learned from my first deck to my 13th is that I'm not making oracle decks necessarily for the money. All of my decks, but specifically the ones based on the Bible, is to get the word of God out to people who wouldn't ordinarily pick up an oracle deck, or who won't pick up the Bible, or to show people that people who have given tarot a bad name, listen, my tarot is based upon the Bible. My tarot is based upon the Lord, because that's how God uses me. But it took for me to just keep showing up. It took for me to keep allowing God to show me the path that he was wanting me to walk. It took that. And had I gone back to Egypt the many times that I have, because I've gone back, I went back twice, and both times I was there for a month, once in 2023 and once in 2024. God stopped. He's been taking care of me consistently, and I've been a full-time entrepreneur since May of 2022. 2 times I have gone back to Egypt. The first time was in 2023 for a month or 6 weeks, and the second time was in 2024 for 6 weeks. And I don't even, was it even a full 6 weeks? I don't even know if I was there. I think I was only there a month this time, the last time, because you can't, once free, you can't go back. And so whoever this is for, I understand. And sometimes, yes, the Lord will call you back. He will call you back into work. He will call you. I know it was a setup, but we're not even going to talk about it right now because I don't want to get mad in my spirituals. You're right. It was a setup, but it's all good. But both of them, story for another day. Anywho, talking about the vipers and the snakes and the scorpions. Like sometimes you'll be going into the lion's den. So just be careful about going back into something that God has already freed you from. Okay, the rain is going to come. Leaving a legacy. This talks about courage, strength, kindness, destiny, manifestation, and abundance. So let's see what else is coming out, child. That was almost a whole word by itself. Some of y'all, you're strong enough. Drop this in the chat. I'm strong enough to build this business. I'm strong enough to create what's going to leave my legacy. Come on, be encouraged. Okay, be encouraged. That was on the cut. So you're strong enough. You got this. You can do this. Okay, so for whoever needs this, just know that you can do this and you're going to be successful. So maybe you need to be speaking some affirmations to yourself and telling yourself, like, you got this, you can do this. The Lord may be setting you on a new path. And a lot of times, the Lord will put us on a path, especially once you truly know your purpose and you truly walking in it. He will set you on a path and it may be completely different, or it doesn't look the way you thought it was going to look, but he knows the plans that he has for us. Okay, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you a future and hope. So some of you, yes, the Lord maybe you never really even thought that you were going to own a business or be a business owner or something like that. And now the Lord is putting you on a path to ownership, child. And we receive it. We receive ownership because I tell you what, can't nobody tell you how to run your business because it belongs to you. Okay, here we go. What else? We have Archangel Jophiel, the beauty of God. Come on, clarity and wisdom, positivity, optimism. Told y'all. Yes, so for some of y'all, this is the Lord coming in to encourage you to stay in alignment with your assignment. Come on, the clarity is real. And we receive that. And understanding, I promise you, this is that diamond energy forged under fire. There's a diamond that's on this card, like forged under fire. So this is just simply a test, because one thing you will find. Look at the crow. What y'all was doing up there, child? Where y'all was? Who's on the lookout? Look, literally came and said, I told you, look at the ancestors Neil. Real like y'all seen that. Look, tell y'all. Somebody on the lookout, somebody got some support. We received that. So if you're new to the community, welcome. We're so happy and so grateful that you are here. Side note, y'all, as I'm shuffling, one more? Y'all, make sure you go to my website, touchegermain.com. Pick up my new Oracle deck, Keys of the Kingdom. Keys of the Kingdom, available now on my website. Again, did I already say it? I'm saying it again. Y'all, I never would have thought until the Lord put some check me in my spirituals. Come on, the Rising Star. I was not planning on doing another Bible-based Oracle deck. And the Lord, he was like, nah, you're going to go ahead and put this out, because I hadn't put out anything that was based on the New Testament. All of the other three have all been Old Testament. And so this is the first deck dedicated to Jesus. And so the Lord was like, you need to go and get this done. So this is the first deck that I have that is dedicated to Jesus and the wisdom and the teachings of Jesus. And so I was really excited about it. It's literally and when I get done here, look, come on, creative. I saw it, Archangel Uriel. I was really, yes, because this is who I work with when I'm creating, y'all. Receive it, the fire of God. God lit a fire up under my ass. He did. I said it because it wasn't no other way. It ain't no other way to say it. He had to light a fire up under me, okay, in order for me to get this deck done.